programs for 2 months, but with reservations. The last surface transportation bill, MAP 21, expired last fall. At that time, we passed an extension to the end of this month to give us time to work on a long-term bill. We have known for months that this day was coming, and yet we have made no progress finding a solution to funding highways, transit, and other important surface transportation programs. MAP 21 itself was only a 2-year bill, breaking the tradition of Congress passing 5- or 6-year bills to provide the reliable funding necessary to complete long-term capital plans and projects that require a commitment beyond one fiscal year. The last long-term bill we passed was Safety Lou in 2005. That was 10 years ago, and that bill was underfunded because of a resistance to raising the gasoline tax or to identifying new revenue sources. For over a decade, we have failed to address the funding challenges necessary to break the cycle of underinvestment and put this country back on a competitive path with the rest of the world. Today, we spend about 1.7% of GDP on infrastructure, while China spends 9%, Europe 4.5% to 5%. We used to spend 4.5% to 5% also. According to DOT, there's an $800 billion backlog of investment needs on highways and bridges, including $480 billion in critical repair work. Public transit has an $86 billion backlog of critical maintenance and repair needs, which increases by $2.5 billion each year as bus and rail infrastructure ages. While our infrastructure crumbles around us, House and Senate leadership refused to come up with the additional $60 billion needed to fill the gap in the Highway Trust Fund just to do a long-term bill at current levels. But this week, they will put on the floor a tax extender that will cost $182 billion over 10 years, completely unpaid for. The priorities of this Congress are completely out of whack. I'm concerned that we will pass this 2-month extension and be right back here in July having the same conversation. I will support this extension, but only with the understanding that we must spend the next 2 months once and for all making transportation funding a priority so that our citizens don't have to risk unsafe transportation, so that we can invest in our infrastructure and we can be competitive in our economy going forward. I thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Oregon reserves. The gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I now